Evening, everyone. Welcome to another Hack and Keyring Q&A. As you may mention, we're doing the monthly now instead of weekly. Basically, we kept getting asked the same questions over and over again, and it was getting a bit repetitive, and we'd like to keep it interesting. So, welcome. We've got plenty of questions.
We've got them coming out of our ears.
And we're refreshed and ready to go.
Thank you to everyone who sent them in. And of course, if you are watching, then don't be afraid to type up a question, whether it's BMW related, engine related, in the comment box, and we'll do our best to answer it tonight on the show.
Yes, indeed. I'll be keeping an eye on the chat. Alex has got the pre-entered questions, so yeah, get them in, and we'll do our best to answer them before the end. Generally, we sit on here for about an hour, so you've got time, but do get them in.
Yeah, we'll do our best to get through them, but I don't know how busy it's going to be tonight. And shall we start by having a little talk then about this lovely engine?
Yes. Well, it's an S54. S54s are what we do most of. By no means all we can do, but so they're both what we do most and also a bit of a favourite of ours. So this is Ash's engine, which is a really nice build actually. I think he sold an E21 in its sort of favour of building a nice S54 for his E46 M3, which broke up our hearts a little bit, but at the same time, looking at it now, it's it's nice. It's definitely an understandable decision. So this one's a 3.3 litre, JE pistons, arrow rods, Schritt cams.
Lovely little combo, really.
All the machine work done in-house. Kind of our usual recipe, but plus cams, which not everyone goes for. They work quite well with and without, but it really does finish it off nicely. Not really else to say about it. It's just really nice.
Yeah, it's nice. Lovely bit of detail on it. It really goes to town with all our builds, and we like to think they come out looking mega, and in my eyes it looks mega.
Yeah,
I'd have enough to put that in my engine bay.
Yeah, definitely. There you go.
Looking forward to Ash picking up and
and talking through the details as well. I don't think you can probably see unless you're on a massive TV watching this or something. You probably can't really see all the little details on there that go into making it good on the outside. We know it's good on the inside, but those little details on the outside just finish it off really nicely. But yeah, there you go. Any questions about it, fire them in the comments now, and we'll happily answer. We can tell you anything about it, really. There's also plenty of photos on our Instagram if you want to have a look at it. Probably more to come as well, really. So there you go.
Right to go. If we get into some questions,
yes.
We've got a lot to get through. We'll start at the top, shall we? So we've had a question for Instagram from Jermaine Lee. He has a question. Is it possible to machine the deck on a block with the crank still in? The answer to this question, Ben, is yes. Yes, it is possible. Yeah. Is it advisable? Definitely not. 100% don't do that. All right, you might save yourself a couple of hours taking the crank out and carefully sort of packaging everything up. But in the long run, that you're not going to be able to keep all the swarf when you're machining it. Obviously, you're taking material off the top of the engine block, which is then going to fall down into the engine, around where the bearings are,
into oil galleries.
Bearing in mind, if you've got the crank in as well, the block can't be properly washed. So everything, the oil galleries are going to have oil in them. The crank's probably going to have a good amount of oil film over it. So all the swarf's then going to stick to that. It's just completely a false economy. Not worth doing at all.
Depending on what engine it is, speaking as the lesser machinist of the two of us by far, a lot of times the crank will be hanging at the bottom of the block, which makes it an absolute nightmare to get on the machine square.
I'd say it's possible. It's not just it's a lot more work.
That's no benefit, really.
Yeah, the time you'd save in taking the crank out, the bill will be 3 times as big for the time it takes to clock it up on the machine. So you say you have to clock it up on posts or on parallels as opposed to sitting it on the sump face. So yeah, definitely just advise against that, and really not the proper way of doing things. And I think you'll actually struggle to find a machine shop that would do it, because they know you're probably going to end up coming back with engine failure in the future. It's just not worth it. The slightest bit of foreign debris.
Yeah, I think the same with boring and honing as well. It's been mentioned, and it can be done, but why would you?
It can be done, but it won't be done here.
Yeah.
There's the answer to the question.
Pure and simple.
Moving on, Benny_SG46. Hey guys, working my way through your live streams, wondering what your opinions were on engine flush S54 specifically, as I don't recall hearing that question yet. I'm prepared to wait for Wednesday for a response if it's a new question. Enjoy the YouTube content. Thanks.
Nice. I think it has been asked before. I can't really remember.
Yeah, quite a while ago.
To be honest, we don't tend to get involved with engine flush products. They're a very high detergent, oily type stuff.
Yeah.
And really that detergent isn't necessarily all that good for your engine. We'd rather be seeing engines that just have their oil changed regularly. And if you're doing that, then there's no real need to be using products like engine flush.
Yeah.
Sadly, a lot of S54s do have a lot of oil build-up, but engine flush isn't really going to touch it all that much. It's not really the stuff to be using.
No, I think, well, if we do something, we do it properly. And if an engine comes in, it needs this flush putting through it to clean it up. It's probably time that engine came apart and had some proper love and care put into it and made it back to the engine it should have been. Bearing in mind that the sort of stuff you're flushing out, in a lot of cases as well, can be holding the engine together. That oily grime blocking up all the gaskets. If you do get that all out of the way, you're probably going to find you're going to have gasket leak.
Yeah, and you might just flush it all straight into an oil gallery and block that up.
Yeah, exactly. Then you've got lumps of sludge moving around your engine. It's not nice.
No,
so not a fan of that one.
Not recommended.
Moving on, we have Darren_04. The choice at the moment is old school E46 M3. He's currently got a manual, or trade it in for an M2. Which is better?
Having driven them back to back the other day. I don't know.
Oh, it's a tricky one.
I love them both for different reasons, I think. If it's a car you want to just jump in all the time, not really have too much to worry about, then probably M2. Definitely got its pluses. A lot of the driving experience is good, but a lot of it isn't as good as an E46. But at the same time, if you're looking for more comfort and just a car you can jump in and go, then M2 is the one. So
yeah, I mean E46 M3s, even the last lot of production line are now pretty old cars, nearing 15 years old. That's pretty old in my eyes.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're starting to need a bit more love and care than getting a newer car.
Yeah, definitely.
So I'd get the E46 M3.
Yeah. Yeah, it's difficult. I don't know what I do. I do think the M2's got a bit of that E46 DNA in it, but perhaps not in the same way as I had expected before I drove an M2 for the first time. So who knows? They both make a good noise. They both go pretty well. They're both pretty comfortable.
And I see sort of the M2's definitely having more of the status of the current lineup that's sort of out there. In the M2 will be the one that sort of pulls through and sort of keeps its value a little bit better and sort of goes into the Hall of Fame, should we call it?
Yeah, definitely. And for once, we don't have an E46 M3 in the building.
It's a rarity. I think like
the
first time like 18 months or something.
Yeah, very rare occasion that we don't have one here, or 5 here, or but yeah, I've got a quick little evening from Tate.
Oh, Tate's probably in his shed polishing his moped. We've mentioned before, so he's our soon-to-be apprentice once he finishes school. Finished his 16th birthday the other day, celebrated by doing his CVT. So he popped up to see us on his 50cc moped.
Any recently 16-year-old who turns up at his future workplace on an 80s moped,
3 times older than he is.
Yeah, well, a hero. Proves that he's in the right place, I think. We'd like to think.
So excited to get Tate on board.
Yeah, certainly. I've got a quick question that does tie on to the last one a little bit. What do you currently drive? If you could only own one M car, what would it be? Well, I've just sold my E36 Touring, which, well, not that it was on the road, but that was my big BMW project. And for the first time since 2009, I don't have a BMW, which is embarrassing, really. So that is something that we will be addressing
We do have a BMW on its way.
We do. Sorry, yeah.
In the earliest known 2002 in the country.
Mm-hmm.
It's sat in a field for the last 40 years. You haven't seen it yet.
No.
Yeah, so we're not completely out of BMWs.
No, I don't think that was going to be on the road.
I don't think it is either. It might one day.
But yeah, it should be really good. It would be a barn find if the barn around it hadn't fallen down, I think, by the sound of it.
Yeah.
2002, maybe one of the earliest right-hand drive ones, certainly probably the earliest one in the country.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
So quite exciting.
1968?
Yeah, 1968, 416th off the line, something like that. It'd be good to sweep that into a pile.
Yeah.
Drag it onto a trailer and see how many pieces it's in. Quite a few, I think.
Yeah.
Of course, we'll do a time lapse of pulling that out of the brambles.
Yeah.
It'd be good to see that.
We're getting the comments back before we even get through the questions. Usman Khan has replied again saying, we want to see more of your own cars and builds. Hopefully they will feature soon. Hopefully. Time has been against us big time. We've got, actually, as mentioned in the next comment from Peter Wardle, the K100 Imp. That's awaiting time. We've got all sorts of bits for it. Got to send all the chassis bits off for powder coating. In all honesty, this year has been so manic that I don't think either of us have really touched our own projects yet. But the summer will soon be upon us.
We've got new members of the team coming in.
We do.
Of course, to mention Luke. I don't know if Luke's watching. So Luke's one of our new technicians here, who's settled in nice and quickly. He's got a fantastic eye for detail.
Yeah, top lad.
He's doing good. So good. And then obviously, we had Chris start as well a few months ago. Chris, avid watcher every week. We lock him away in the engine build room, and he produces masterpieces like this. So.
Yeah. So I think, essentially before that, me and you were on the spanners and running the business, which is not a recipe for success. Much as we love it, it's sleepless nights and whatnot to get on top of you. So, in terms of the workshop and everything here, it's all it's all settled back down a bit again. We're catching up with a bit of a backlog of work, and the project can soon continue.
I'd like to think so.
Yeah. Let's hope so. Otherwise, it will never get done. Let's come back to that one.
All right, next question is from how to build a powerful E36 naturally aspirated engine. Behind the camera, obviously, we've got Dave's E36, and that's the recipe I'd suggest.
Yeah. Not a DIY home build.
No.
If we are talking about the S50, it's an engine that makes a great noise and can make some really good power, but to work on, they're not the friendliest. That was a really quite incredibly in-depth build, which we will do a write-up on the website at some point, because there's a lot in there that is certainly not off the shelf. It's taken a lot of work to get it to where it is. Lots of nice bits that are off the shelf as well, which is always good. But we'll see what power it makes. Goes off the mapping next week.
Yeah.
See what it does.
Yeah, pretty excited.
And then
we'll run in, and then do a couple of power runs. I suppose it'll be exciting to see. The labour of love. Coop 135i. Have you worked on many N54 engines, and if so, what do you think of them? / advice.
There is one just over there. To be honest, we haven't had a massive amount to do with them. We've done a couple of engine builds. Shakir's is running, I believe, over 800 horsepower quite happily. We've done a few bits in the car, some maintenance work or small mods and stuff. But not for some reason. It's just one that has escaped our attention, really. In some ways, well aware of it, aware of its flaws, aware of its good points, but I wouldn't say that we've had enough experience of it inside this workshop to really suggest a lot, other than what we'd suggest for a full engine build.
Yeah, obviously there's gains to be had, but it does involve taking the whole thing off
Yeah,
into pieces. And
yeah, bolt-on
putting it
bits
together.
aren't where our experience lies with those ones, unfortunately.
Grip over steer. Which assembly lube is best? Well, I should have preempted it.
Yeah,
Brought the
yeah.
pack engineering.
We'd have
brand
thought
in.
ahead, we'd have a little bottle here. So we do our own assembly lube, which is available on the website. Just type in engine assembly lube. I believe it's part number HE-EAL. Yeah, so we've sort of formulated that. So it's sticky, but it's not paste. Yeah, it's just a little bit of the best of products we've seen out there that we've combined into one.
Yeah, perfect if you're doing sort of any engine building, but you really want to keep a high tack oil.
That's got it in it.
Because obviously, before it's got oil pressure, you prime up in the car, the engine could be sitting for some amount of months. So you really need a product that's not going to drip off the components in the engine and stay tacked to the components. So you've got decent lubrication on first turn of the key.
Yeah, and that's the stuff. That's a nice easy answer, that one.
Yeah. Bill's 8787. What's the best build you've done for a customer?
I don't think we could say the best. I mean, we aim for everything to be the best without sounding cheesy. Obviously, budget comes into it sometimes, but we'd like to think that within that budget we've done the best job possible. Favourite we could maybe go into. I think that's a perhaps fairer way of looking at it. I mean, are we talking engine build or are we talking a bit more of a car build, do you reckon?
Just a guess, really, isn't it, then?
Yeah.
I'm going to guess engine build.
Okay. Why don't you go your favourite engine build, I'll do my favourite car.
Yeah, go on then.
You first.
Well, you go first.
I think even though it has been a headache to do and, for the right reasons, it's an interesting one, but Daisy 36 was one of my favourite cars when it came in, and it's going to be one of my favourite cars going out. Yeah. For anyone who doesn't know it, it's been seen. I think he was doing 2 track days a week at one point, isn't it?
Yeah, he uses that.
Yeah. So it's a E36 M3 coupe saloon. Excuse me. Caged up, Recaro seats, not a lot else in it. Full Millway kinematics rear end, if you want to call it that. There's no bushes in it. It's all bearings or solid bits of aluminium. Obviously now a Hack Engineering built S50B32 carbon airbox, nice exhaust system.
Getting excited talking about it.
Yeah, and not really a lot else to it. It's just got all the best bits. Nothing excessive. Doesn't weigh a lot. It's going to have a really good amount of power.
Big old Rizzler decal down the side of the car.
Yeah, it's just cool. I like it a lot.
Yeah, mega.
Hack Engineering Sunstrip, that obviously adds 50 horsepower by itself. So
it's a blue one. 60.
A 60 for the blue. I forgot. Sorry.
Reds are only 50.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite.
Yeah.
It's a nice simple recipe, done well. There's not a lot I'd change on it if I bought it tomorrow from him. And that's a sign of something that I like, obviously. But
yeah, it's cool.
What's your favourite engine build?
It's probably an engine we're building at the moment.
I don't know what it's going to be.
The S14.
Yeah.
So we've got customer Mark, probably might be watching, over in Jersey, who's got a lovely E30 M3. We're doing the engine build on. Nothing too racy. It's not an out and out race car or anything like that, but he really wants the engine just to be mint on the inside as well as on the outside. So all the fasteners have been plated, sort of like a nice yellow passivate on them. Everything's sort of powder coated. We're going to machine the top of the rocker. It's just going to be a nice looking engine. And just lovely components, Carrillo pistons, arrow rods. I mean, if you trick cams, if you ever had an S14 apart, even in standard form, they're just for their time, they're a nicely designed engine. And, pretty excited to get that. Well, I say for Chris to get that finished.
Yeah. I think it's good as well. It's the S14 is an engine that is almost fabled for being difficult to build, or some sort of mythical difficulty or something like that about it. That not anyone can touch it. And we've got all the equipment here. We've got all the know-how. It's a lovely engine.
Yeah.
don't get me wrong, but if you have all the right tools and things, you don't need to talk on the internet about it being mythical and difficult to do, because it's a formula that we know works.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a really great little engine for a great car.
Yeah, we see so many 6-pops as well. From time to time, it's nice to get a little something a bit smaller.
Give the engine stands a bit of a break.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, probably one of my favourite ones that's in progress at the moment.
Agreed.
S333AAH. How easy would it be to do an RB25 DET swap into an E46?
Unfortunately, it's a bit of a how long is a piece of string question. It has been done. Anything's achievable with enough money or know-how. And I think you can get adapters for them to go into BMW gearboxes, things like that make life a bit easier. But it really depends how you want to do it, what you're using it for, how much you want to spend, how nice you want it to be. You could slap it in there and it could work for not a lot, but
it's how long is a piece of string. How nice do you want it to be? All the things you said.
Yeah. Simple as that, unfortunately.
Amasood 1193. How to make an aluminium M52 as reliable under boost as an M50 iron block? Probably get an M50 iron block.
Yeah. We've seen it, time and time again, really, and we have had it recently with Steve's build. He kind of bought an M52 alley block to us, hoping that we'd share some wisdom, and unfortunately those blocks just aren't the stiffest, and under boost they just don't really work. Sadly, much I'd like to say, there are things you could do. Ultimately, I'm sure you could sleeve it and add block reinforcement in all sorts of places, but you're going to end up with something that might as well just be an M50 iron block.
Yeah, exactly. That's pretty much that advice, isn't it? Or just keep buying up cheap M52s. Bang the boost in them when they pop.
And change them every weekend.
Get good at swapping M52s out.
I think they can work up to sort of 300 horsepower. If you've got the right efficient setup. Again, it's the same thing we were saying every week. The right setup around it, you can make it reliable to a higher power level, but ultimately it's...
there's bits you can do. ALP head studs, machining the block out to a slightly larger stud. Maybe going a Keyring head gasket. So there are bits you can do, but don't get an M50 block. James Doble. I'm looking to buy an E36 M3/M3 eBay. What do you think about the market at the moment? Overinflated prices because of people being at home and looking for hobbies and projects? Or are the cars reaching their true value? Do you think we'll see the prices coming back down after lockdown's end? People go back to the office and they have a year or so of no use. Interested to hear your thoughts and maybe a recommendation on what prices people should look at paying.
Now, here's a question I should have done some homework on. I do think there are, I don't know, it's difficult. Prices seem to, various cars, BMWs, whatever, have had a bit of a funny time recently. Some certain values for things. I mean, E46 is also, again, the values have been pumped up quite a bit. I don't know if we'll see them come down. I wish I could.
I think the prices are getting pumped up a bit because they're getting older as well. So you pay more for a good one. And that sort of drags the market out with it.
I agree. Obviously, only a fool would sell an E36.
Only a fool.
I don't know. They are certainly achieving a bit of classic status. We've got 3 E36 M3s here at the moment, and none of them are cheap cars anymore.
No.
10 years ago you could get one for 1,800 quid, if not less. It's they're certainly. I think they're getting the value that they deserve. They are great cars, but whether that's currently inflated a little bit, I don't know. Probably a bit, but whether it will actually come down or not, who knows?
Yeah, but then you could also argue the other side of the thing is everyone's at home, so they've bought the cars maybe a bit through lockdown last year. And actually, the quality of a lot of cars going onto the market is better. That's why the prices are more, because actually they've been done up in the last year. There's less dogs. They've all been fixed up.
I do think certainly based on what we're seeing, people are spending money on their cars and doing those little projects and making them better and better through lockdown, which obviously hopefully we can actually get out and enjoy them a bit more soon. But it's no bad thing.
Yeah, definitely so. Eamon and Dean says, I've got an E46 M3 which has been off the road during COVID. I turned it over every now and again and rotated the wheels, pumped the brakes ECC. However, last week I did this, and when I pressed the clutch, I got this loud juddering noise. Any idea what the issue is here? Please see this video attached.
Yeah, I tried to attach the video so that we could share it, but it wasn't happening. So to explain it briefly, Eamon sent a video of him, car's running, puts his foot on the clutch, sounds fairly right, and as it gets towards the bottom, quite a bad noise. As it gets to the bottom, it literally sounds like a machine gun going off. A little bit difficult to tell exactly what that is, to be honest. I would perhaps suggest that the clutch pivot pin has had its day, and there's something in there that is moving around in a way that it shouldn't be moving. That or clutch release bearing's completely given up.
Yeah. Or if it's in a damp environment as well, flywheel face could have just rusted up a bit. That's what's. I mean, I haven't heard the video, so I don't know what the noise was. But yeah, if you've got vehicles that have been in storage a long time without any sort of movement, and yeah, moisture gets into the bell housing, can cause a bit of corrosion on the flywheel face. You might find just driving it could free it up, unless it's one of the things you suggested in which driving it's probably not a good idea.
Yeah, I'd say based on the noise, I wouldn't drive that. Yeah, unfortunately, that definitely seems to sound like it needs quite a bit of looking into and making sure it's all right. Sad times.
Sad times.
Not what you want when you part something up and try to take care of it, really.
Grip Oversteers sent another question: how to remove surface rust from an engine block? Probably one for me. Depends sort of where you're looking at. Obviously, it's not just externally on an engine. You've got sort of faces that need cleaning. Also internally, oil galleries. You need to pop all the bungs out, sort of get in there, and long pipe cleaners to sort of clean it out. But probably guessing externally. What we do here is we have a heavy pH alkali sort of chemical dip that we sort of submerge cast iron blocks into, not aluminium, because they will dissolve in it. Yes, that's sort of really what you want to do. But if not, it's a case of, you know, a good old tin of elbow grease and a wire wheel on a drill, and just going at it really. Yeah, ideally strip it all down and put it in a tank of. Well, bring it here and we can dip it in our tank and then hot wash it and ultrasonic clean it and clean out all the galleries for you. That would be my sort of advice.
And there is also an evil device called a needle scaler.
Yeah.
Which is literally a gun of needles that shoot in and out.
Yeah, it's not a bad shout actually. Yeah, we do use that from time to time, especially on S54s, because the factory enamel on the block's so strong. We've yet to find, even in our alkali dip, doesn't lift all the paint off. So yeah, needle scaler. You can get one at Machine Mark, like 40 quid. Plug it into the compressor and
wear ear defenders.
Wear ear defenders. Do it. Well, if you hate your neighbours, do it. Do it any time of the day. But god awful things.
Yeah.
But yeah, probably quite a good tool to have, especially if you sort of really want to lift rust on. I wouldn't do any rust under cars because it would just go through the floor. It's quite aggressive. Be on a cast iron block. Obviously, keep it away from all the machine faces or anything that's critical, but sort of on the outside face of the block here, you'd be fine using a tool like that.
I think rust on bores is something that I don't think that's what the question was, but it's something we get asked about every now and then, and everyone's like, oh, just hone it out and off you go. I think there's just more to it than that.
Yeah, rust really can get deep into a block to the point where you'll sort of even overbore half a mil out, and you can still have pitting if water's set in one of the cylinders. So yeah, it is need a bit more info on the question.
Yeah.
But internally can cause all sorts of issues. Again, backing of bearings or when the main line, water's got in there, that can cause all sorts of issues further down the line, even if you end up cleaning it out. That would be my answer to that one. Instagram, Max Fuller 95. Any workshop technician jobs coming up? We discussed this prior to the live session tonight. 5 key pillars of employment at Hack Engineering.
Yeah.
Well, 5 key pillars to getting your foot in the door.
Yeah. Good CV. Good project car. Cake. Begging. Cake.
Yeah, I think that was it, pretty much. No, we haven't got any openings at the moment, but also we always make openings for the people that are properly passionate. So if you are interested, pop a CV. We haven't really got a position at the moment, but the right candidate came along.
Yeah, and we are constantly growing. So
yeah, we're always looking for good people to join the team. So if you are watching, Max, send that across. If you're not watching, you've already failed stage 1 of the stage 1 of the test.
Well, I have a cake turns up tomorrow.
Yeah, getting straight in. He's got like, what cake would someone have to bake for you to say, right, you've got a job?
Blimey. I think I care too much about work for any cake.
Yeah, that is true.
But like a chocolate fudge.
Chocolate fudge would be like,
that would put you in good stead, I'd say.
Cake. The last question we've got tonight, obviously, if you are still watching, we've got a bit of time, so get a comment in. We'll have to answer that.
And we will come back to the questions that have been asked.
Yeah. Harves Dolden, who's got an E28, I know that from his Instagram, is wanting to know if we'll be seeing any more E28 535i. Obviously, if you're looking at our YouTube channel, we've done a fair amount, I think with 7 episodes or something, about Ian's lovely M535i E28 sort of semi-restoration engine build. We've been so busy, we're cracking on with the work, but we haven't been filming any of it. But there's stuff to come. The crank's sort of away at the moment after a long-awaited spell of sort of bearing supply issues. But once we get the crank back, engine build's going to really crack on, and there might be videos of it. There might not. I can't promise anything.
Yeah, I'm sure there will be at some point.
If not, there'll be plenty of pictures on Instagram. So head over there, and we'll try and keep people in the loop while that. It's a little easier to put a photo up every day and sit down and edit a video together. So. Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's all just time at the moment.
And that concludes our questions that have been sent in. So I can put this down there.
You can. Right, we'll get back to the chat questions. Oh, Max, not great at baking. Oh, I wouldn't be admitting that. I'd be training myself.
Yeah. So there's this woman called Mary Berry.
So Usman Khan sort of replied to our earlier endeavour to answer his initial questions. Have you ever thought of doing an M build package such as RPM Technic do with Porsche CSR? Maybe showcase your own next builds as a starter. It is a little dream of mine to, I can't remember the name of the company, there's someone doing it, take E30 M3s and do a bit of a singer on them and make them the essence of what they are, but better in every possible way. However, we are so busy with what we're doing now. I'm sure one day it might come.
Yeah, it might happen.
It'd be nice to do packages a bit like that. It's something that a fair bit of thought has gone into, perhaps on the newer cars to begin with, at least. A bit of a way of cars drive in. We optimise them for better handling, or a little bit more power, or a little bit of everything that's just right and balanced. But things like that, honestly, just take a hell of a lot of development time. So I'm sure it'll come at some point. We do sort of tuning packages for a few bits, but as a complete car package, not yet. But I'd like to
one day.
Yeah, going back to the M2, something like that, it'd be nice to have. A drive in, drive out sort of package we do that makes them work even better. But one day, for now, you can buy lots of bits individually on our website. We're happy to advise, but that's that really. We've got a comment from Matt as well, who quite regularly tunes in, MRF Automotive.
Oh, yeah.
Evening, chaps. I saw when Ben was breaking his touring up for parts, he had a reinforced rear M3 subframe. What's the info on that? Sounds intriguing. So the M3 Evo rear subframe has a bit of a well-known problem where the front diff mounting, unlike the rest of E36s where it's a bush that's sort of pretty much within the subframe, the M3 Evo has a separate diff bush that bolts to the front of the diff, and then that has a bolt through it that goes onto the subframe. Where that thread is welded on and actually not that strong, and they are known for basically just coming off and to repair them is an absolute nightmare. So before mine broke, I made some plates basically and just strengthened up the whole area. Just added more material around it in kind of the planes of movement, all welded in. So that's reinforcement there, which if you've got the subframe out of an M3 Evo, I'd definitely just do it while it's out. The plates weren't complex. There's nothing off the shelf, but they were really just right angled, plates made to fit nicely and welded in. The other reinforcement is on E36 is the anti-roll bar sort of bush mounting points. They're essentially a bit of pressed steel that's quite a long way out from the subframe, so you can get quite a bit of flex there, and that causes them to crack. So mine had reinforcements welded in there to basically, rather than making it a plate, make it a right angle, which adds a hell of a lot of strength. I think that was it from memory. But yeah, it was all done and all powder coated and looked amazing, and sold it with the car. Sad times. But yeah, I'm sure I have photos somewhere, Matt, if you need them. A long way back. I think it's 2014 I did that. So yeah, a long time ago, but the simple principles still apply. The anti-roll bar reinforcement bits are off the shelf. I can't remember where I got them from, but yeah, they're nothing too clever, but it all just helps with not having a headache later on when you're suffering in a car with a bit hanging off it. Simple as that. Right, we might have more questions come, but in the meantime, we're going to have a quick tour of our merchandise.
We'll start with the Hack Engineering Keyring, available now at your nearest Hack Engineering depot store. Oh,
there you go.
We'll now carry out a slow motion twirl.
That's a very slow motion twirl.
Yeah, these are now available, of course, on the online shop. So get on there. If you're ordering something, pop one in your basket, get it on the key rings because, 17 horsepower, I think we found.
Yeah,
yeah,
it's actually 17.4, but we don't like to brag. So.
Yeah, obviously different dynos and whatnot.
Yeah,
so we have to be realistic here.
Obviously, if you double up, who knows? We haven't worked out yet whether the gain is exponential or just same per keyring.
We're getting there, bit more R&D, but obviously available now.
Yeah, so that's those again. Yeah, on the website. We've also got air fresheners, as seen here. They do smell rather nice.
Even now, indeed. Yeah.
Yeah, they're on there.
Well, let's of course first talk then about the item you've opened.
Yes, we should.
How do I get one of these?
Spend money on the website. So orders over certain values, which I should check before I came downstairs. Should have checked.
$7.50.
Yeah, $7.50. I think there's a smaller.
Yeah, I can only remember.
This is my problem. Sorry, we'll happily we'll do a little Instagram post about it tomorrow, so you'll know what's what. But yeah, orders over a certain value get a free little goodie bag, as seen here. It won't be empty; it will have stuff in it. But yeah, all the bits we're showing you now come with it. So a good size order will land you a load of goodies because we really do appreciate the business, and it's only fair. 2 other items in there.
Just in time for summer.
Yeah. Hack Engineering ice scraper. It's very handy. It has some sort of tyre depth gauge that I still haven't worked out how to use on the back.
Yep.
A good scrapey side. A good side. And finally, fridge magnets, which are quite cool. Nice thing to bung in the fridge.
Well, we haven't worked out. You could bung them on your engine as well. Magnetics. So.
There you go. We haven't worked out the refrigeration gain from fitting one of those yet.
No, but I put a bottle of milk in. Came back the next day, it was frozen then. So
wow,
didn't used to happen.
Proof in the frozen milk.
Yeah.
We do also have hoodies. Got these in all sizes, I think. They have been selling really quick, but we are in the process of restocking. So if there's a size on there that we don't have that you want, it's coming imminently. These are, based on my own review, really comfy and actually really warm. So it worked out really well. Yeah, we've just sold loads. They've been really good. And I think basically, if you're driving a car and you're wearing one of these,
Yeah.
you have 10 racing driver points at your disposal.
Really?
Mm.
What a bargain.
Yeah.
Because I think one racing driver point now sells on eBay for like £9.50.
Yeah. So
if
really,
you're getting 10, you're like, oh, it's a bargain.
You're in the money.
You are in the money.
Yeah.
And the more merch people sort of buy, the more we expand into, next thing you know, it'll be a Hack Engineering tin openers of all sorts.
Mugs.
Mugs.
I think mugs have to come next.
Yeah, mugs must be next.
We have mugs for customers if you visit us here and we make you a cup of tea or coffee.
Of course, if you are watching and you've got an idea for some juicy merch, pop in the comments box. Always appreciate to actually sort of get an idea on what people actually want.
We actually had a great idea relating to mugs that we are yet to develop. Do you remember this?
Oh, the magnetic.
I can't even talk about it. It's so good. I don't want to
there's a non-disclosure on that one. So.
Yeah, but
so just imagine mugs with magnetic little signs. So you knew who. It is a good idea.
Yeah, there's quite a bit of evolution involved in the idea as well.
3D printing to come up on that one.
If anyone wants to buy that idea up from us,
I'll start with 5 mil.
Yeah,
that's fair. That's a bargain, really, because the returns next level. So you were going to say something. Okay. It was just like a pause that I thought you'd take over.
Okay.
Wondering what we're going to talk about next. We've got a couple of other engines sort of in the process as well, and we've just had a S50B32 dropped off, suspected bearing failure.
Yes.
So we'll be pulling that apart over the next coming weeks and sort of seeing what's going on there.
Yeah, I think it Mark's engine. It basically nice car, he cherishes it. Took it to a dyno, made really nice power, and then the next week it blew up. Which, well, they always make the best power before they blow up, allegedly.
Yeah.
But so we've got that next door. That's coming up. We've got an M30B28 build for another E28, I believe.
Yeah.
E28. I think it's an E24. Which is obviously a bit unusual because usually you see the B34s and B35s, but 2.8 litre M30 is quite a cool thing.
Yeah, it's really nice.
It's another one that actually is just going to be a nice refresh for a classic, but done nicely, so it's got a bit of punch to it as well. Yeah,
and I'm quite excited for big boosted M20, to be honest. That's really quite a cool little build.
Yeah, we've got Dan's M20 that, he's planning to use it hard, wants a lot of power, going to run a lot of boost through it, but wants to keep the M20, which is quite cool. I mean, they're strong engines, but ultimately they are quite old, but it's going to be a good one.
Yeah, we've got a soft spot for the M20. I don't really know why, just think quite cool.
And they have Campbell.
Yeah.
That'd be cool. We've got Luke's N54. We've had all sorts of headaches with that due to previous machine work and sort of work that's happened to it. It's taken some time to get the block right. We've still got quite a bit of work to do to block before we can start building it. But it's funny there. It's closed deck N54, and I think he's aiming to be essentially the fastest N54 in the country on half mile or quite a lot, but it's going a little 1 series, so that's going to be quite something. Going back to what we always say about the efficiency of the setup surrounding the engine, he's got a full Walton Motorsport single turbo kit for that, which is a really nice kit that is actually a tubular equal length manifold that really efficiently feeds the turbo and keeps that engine happy. There are so many N54 builds out there with hideous log manifolds, which they kill engines. In short, I mean, they'll be all right up to a point, but they're really not good for them. It's really good to work with Luke because he actually understands what he needs to do to get up there and make a reliable, extremely high power engine, which we're looking forward to delivering for.
Yeah, excited for that one too.
What else we got in the build room? Steve's M50.
Steve's M50, we're just struggling on. Well, we're not struggling. It's on order. One build that's pretty much finished, just waiting on a tiny little part out of the chain tensioner. Finding one's been all over the world basically, trying to order them. Orders cancelled, but there should be one on its way now. So yeah, it'd be good to get Steve's.
Yeah,
sort of
who knew it'd be so difficult?
Yeah, it's definitely supply problems at the moment. It's really held up a lot of builds, but we're getting there. Appreciate everyone's sort of patience. The stuff has been taking longer, but it's just down to getting bits in. And if you want to build engines with the best bits, unfortunately, you've got to wait.
Yeah. Unfortunately, there is the odd time where even when it does turn up, it's not good enough.
Yeah.
We really aim to work with the best, and I think it's usually when we compromise on that for the sake of whether it be a budget or availability issues, we usually regret it. We've had that time and time again, really, with Ian's build, even where, or it's not even necessarily compromise. You think you're buying the best, it turns out it's a load of rubbish.
Yeah, that's it.
So people we promote are because we've used them and we know they're good. If we don't promote them, it's because we probably have something of theirs and it's rubbish. What else? There's so many builds in there. We should explain as well. Steve's builds are M50 iron block, 2.8 crank, SP rods, I think, in that one.
Yeah, SP rods. Wiseco pistons. New guides in the head, quite a lot of machine work in the head as well. So it's going to be a good bit of kit. Going into a cool car as well. Steve's car's mega. If you don't want to head out over to Instagram, check out Numpty Motorsport. You can sort of see his build there. And we're excited to see that out on track once Steve's got it all built up. Got the manifold sorted on it, so excited for that one. Yeah,
and then you might have to do track days in a 330 diesel.
Yeah,
which is quite cool.
He's actually sold that.
Oh, really?
And he's bought an Audi A4 convertible.
Wow. Just wow.
That's about that, really.
It's about all the builds. There are more. There's always more. Stuff that we can't,
engines
can't talk about, or isn't quite as exciting, or just hasn't been really announced yet. But with plenty going on. We've had the week of the M2s as well.
The week of the M2s.
I keep mentioning M2s. I don't mean to. It's just that we've been talking about them all week. M2s aren't a car we see quite so often for whatever reason. More than happy to see them because they are fun little things. We had Patrick's
on Monday.
Long Beach Blue one.
A few stud kit and spacers and reflected delete on the rear bumper. So just a couple of little jobs.
It's really interesting actually to see the people who are buying M2s and enjoying them a bit more. It's our own little market research, I suppose, but purely from an enthusiast point of view. But I used to have an E46 M3 CSL and basically loved driving it, hated the fact it was worth so much money, so sold it, got an M2, which is an understandable swap. I think he openly admitted he'll regret it. CSLs are pretty irreplaceable, but it does seem to lead on better from the E46 M3 than perhaps the M3 and M4 do.
It's slightly smaller again because things always get bigger, don't they, especially in this day and age.
And then we've got Russell's one in, finished that off earlier. So that is a manual. Which
quite rare, don't see too many manuals.
You don't. I think you see more manual M2s than M3s and M4s, but still not many. I have to say, manual versus DCT, what do you say?
I've been converted.
Yeah,
I've been converted then.
Yeah.
I was all for the manual. It's still a good car, don't get me wrong. But I think the DCT is slightly better. I think the amount of the pickup of the engine, the pickup speed of the engine and the power of the engine, just that slightly quicker gear change.
I think just suits modern engines a bit better.
Yeah,
maybe. I don't know. I certainly see the attraction of manual, but I have to say I'm the same. Once you've driven some modern cars and you get used to the experience involving having both hands on the wheel, it almost seems a bit odd to be changing gear. I'm sure after a bit more use of it, you enjoy it more. But yeah. So yeah, should explain really. Russell's cars are black M2, N55, as Patrick's was. Manual. I think it's got lowering springs in it, maybe. A few little sort of visual bits, but sports cap, downpipe, boot mod stage 1, K&N filter.
I wonder why it's got K&N filter.
Yeah. Russ may or may not work for K&N. And one of our charge pipes now, the plastic one, which we've seen in quite amusing fashion before with Dan's car, a friend of ours. The plastic goes hard and then it literally just shatters. His was in probably about 14 bits, I think, by the time we pulled it all out of the engine bay. Whereas an aluminium, uprated one, as we fitted to Russ's and as we got in stock upstairs, problem solved. They're also a bigger bore, so you get a bit more flow through them, and it just it works better with running more boost with a mapped car or whatever. Just that top end power really helps with. So
but his is a cool car in black as well, so quite menacing,
quite stealthy.
Cool bit of kit.
Yeah, I saw you out road testing, saw it in my rearview mirror, and it looks menacing. It's very cool. And then I believe that's also black, got an M2 comp in at the weekend. Yeah, I'm quite looking forward to. I've had M2 comps visit and all sorts, but actually haven't had one up on the rent yet. So
we could have a look under one. Familiar ourselves.
Yes, definitely. Quite a bit of kit. But I think we'll probably
about concludes what we've got in, what's coming up. So as we said, obviously it'll be going to monthly now. So tune in. What are we, end of May now? We're not the end of May. We're the end of April now. Tune in at the end of May.
So last Wednesday of the month.
Start thinking about any questions you've got and get them across to us, and we'll do our best to answer them.
Yeah, and as always, if there's a topic you'd like discussing rather than a specific question, if you wanted to ask Alex what goes into machining a block from start to finish for an S54 build, whatever it may be, do feel free to ask bigger questions. We're more than happy to. We'll grab a block out. We'll talk you through everything we do. Whatever you want to see, we're happy to talk about it. I think we're always willing to discuss our work. It helps you as customers or viewers or whatever it be understand what we do better, because unfortunately there are a lot of places out there that will say they've done something, they don't understand what they're doing, and
definitely
you don't realise that you're not getting an equal level of service, finish, whatever it may be. So always happy to provide that sort of education, I suppose. And let you know why what we do is better, and we truly believe it is. So
for sure,
definitely. We'll end it there.
Sweet. Tune in next time.
See you next time.
The awkward side.